Good morning, everyone. This is Emily from Grammy's Garden. I'm squinting because the sun's in my eyes, and it's glorious. It's really cold out here for April 22nd. I feel so much better today. The doctor put me on an antibiotic yesterday, and I went ahead and started taking it. And boy, I feel very different. So I'm ready to get at it. I got lots on my list. But first of all, it's just a little R&R in the garden. That's what I feel like that is. So I'm just going to give you a little tour. I'm out here feeding birds. Sounds like one of them's calling my name, doesn't it? Calling somebody's name anyway. So I'm going to switch it around here and let you see how beautiful things are. We are under a freeze watch. Got cold last night. Got into mid-30s. But this morning, it's supposed to be in the 40s all day. And then they've taken a chance of snow out of the forecast, which I'm so grateful they did that. That's the way the weather's going to be. I'm worried about my strawberries more than anything because I just have pretty much cold weather crops planted right now. I've held off on beans and tomatoes and all those kinds of things. So those are going to be coming up at probably the first week of May. So I'm out here. I wanted to say hi. I haven't seen you all in a long time. And there's been lots of reasons for that. And somewhere I just have been awfully busy with this garden too. So let's just go out here and I'll switch it around and let's take a look at what's growing, okay? Here's an overall look. And I'm gonna go down, and if you notice this moving a little bit, I don't have a stabilizer stick out here with me. I've been thinking this over. It's not impromptu, but it was just like, okay, let's go do this. I'm right here on my patio. There's my dog, Sissy. She's kind of wondering where Gracie is, and dogs don't understand. Of course, they don't understand why their friends go and don't come back. But anyway, you'll see some basil, some sage, and here and there, these little bitty shavers. Those are some green onions, or not green onions, they're Spanish onions that I started like 4 or 5 weeks ago. And they're withstanding all of the my failures and my inability. I've never started seeds inside on anything like onions before. There's a pretty little pink flower. This is just a little herb bed that's right by, you see, there's my patio. Look at all the weeds. Some of these things I know are edible and they have really good use. So I don't like for everything to be cut down, to be honest. And there's If Pigs Could Fly. And this winter, poor baby's missing right here. It's missing a butterfly that was on there. And I don't know where that's at. Who knows? So I put some celery out in here. I guess it's been almost a week ago or a week and a half, and it's making it. Now, look at this celery that I started myself, and I didn't harden that thing off or anything. I just got to the point I had just thought, okay, we're going to have to do the best we can this year, and I just stuck that thing right down there in the soil, and it's lived through torrential rains, high winds. My place is almost like in a wind tunnel. All these trees are on this side. On the other side, there's a hill. So everything just swooshes down through here. I mean, it just bends things over. I have to have very hardy plants going. And please disregard the disarray because things are just in disarray here. Anyway, they're in disarray as far as I just am having to do bit by bit. Those marigolds are waiting to be put out into the garden. They're doing great in there. And my asparagus that was in here last year, I'm gonna eat that. I'm gonna just clip that off and eat it as it comes up before, because this is its second year. I have no thoughts of, oh, I'm gonna grow asparagus. But it was given to me by my daughter, and I stuck it down in there, and there was beautiful flower planted, which in May I'll be planting more flowers too. So in here you see my spearmint. It's flourishing. And I was so tickled yesterday to see this. Now this is Italian oregano. See, there's Italian oregano. And here's my English thyme. I just think it's gorgeous, and it's starting to overflow already, spill over. And then look down in here, these little bitty jobbies. I saw that and I thought, wow, the way things just want to live. Spring comes and they're like, yahoo. There's a little Japanese maple that my son gave me last year at Mother's Day, and boy, we had extreme heat this past year. Extreme. This is grasses you're looking at right here, ornamental grasses. They get to be about 8 feet tall, and the green's coming up on them. And then look here, here's a bag of soil waiting for something that needs planting. And look at this mess. My daughter gave me this Gorilla cart, and I love this thing. It can hold 600 pounds, and I just love it. It helps me so much with going out to the garden with big buckets of things. And so anyway, I've got a bunch of stuff in there that's got to be actually changed around where it's at. Then here's the bird seed waiting to go out. And look at this lilac bush. I just love that lilac bush. It's going to burst open in a few days. And here is another Japanese maple that I got last spring at the same time I got the other one. I got this great little solar light. At night, it's just got a steady green orb. I think, boy, the neighbors across the way over there in that big old house, there's a big old house over there with a beautiful lake. They're probably thinking, what on earth is that? So there you see, that's a little birdhouse my son built. And my peas have had poor germination. I want them to come up on this side of the trellis to have support. So right in under here you can see there's another one coming up, and there's another one coming up, and there's another one coming up. I think these are hardy enough that they will withstand tonight's temps. We're supposed to get down to 30. That means I'm going to be out here covering these beds that I'm worried about. I worry about my carrots and my onions because they're so tiny. If they were a little larger, I really wouldn't worry about them. But see what I mean? These are just tiny, tiny little carrots. Germination's been great on these carrots. Here's the garlic, looking good. I actually came through yesterday and put some fish emulsion down on them because they're pretty heavy feeders, and they want to be fed this time in spring, and they want to be fed about a month later again. Then you don't feed them again, and that'll help you get some good sized bulbs. Now this garlic came out of this garden and this bed. This bed was heavily amended with Bluebird composting with their garden raised bed soil, and then also some of their compost, and things just are like really taken off. The original beds that I have here were just 2 4x8s when I moved here. My son built those. And Bluebird composting was what I used. I used their soil exclusively, and things grew fantastically for 3 seasons. And I think they would have kept on growing. That garlic was not it didn't have the top off soil in it yet. These are bunching onions that have come up well. I'm a little worried about these little fellers because they're so small. But look at these radishes. What do y'all think of that? Aren't they beautiful? And then there's my little row of lettuce. It's looking like lettuces. And then this year, I thought, because there's a lot of planting going on for my family at my daughter's farm. I didn't have to just knock everything out just like 100% like I normally would. So I just am trying to do something. I grew up planting in rows. I'm trying to just sporadically put in other things. So there's some brassicas that are doing well. Boy, it's cold out here, y'all. It's almost like the kind of cold you want to put on some gloves. And look at over here in this bed. I planted a little row of brassicas, and where you don't see anything like that, you don't see anything. I don't want y'all just to have a video of welded dirt. I did that last night. Let me show you this. I got to get it in view for you. It's a really strange one. There we go. I can see it fine underneath me, but the camera can't. So there we go. Those are yellow onions coming up. I've got dill planted here, and that's not come up yet. My beets came up great. I had a really good germination rate on the beets. Got a whole row going. And this bed right here is going to have peppers and some zucchini and maybe some green beans. There's lots of green beans at the farm. But I'm going to like to have a little bit back here I can just run out and get. This bed here's a new bed that I just did some companion planting in already. This is going to house the tomatoes, and I've got probably 60 tomato plants in there under grow lights that I've been shuffling in and out the last week and a half. And they burned one day. Some of them just burned bad. But anyway, there's a little row of zinnias that you see the marker right there. I want some beautiful zinnias. I want to draw in all the pollinators I can. My strawberries look great. This is what I'm worried about for tonight. And boy, the wind's cold. Plants are so resilient, but folks, when it's 30, I don't know if they can be that resilient. Got a whole bed of them, and they have tiny strawberries on them in places and blooming like crazy. Here's something that's just made me happy. This is my little potato bed. Last year I grew potatoes in that spot right there. For one, I had a grow bag, and I ended up getting, I forgot how many pounds of potatoes out of that, but they were red Norlands. So this far row here is red Norlands that were my own. Boy, they look good. And then I've got some from big box store seed potatoes, and they were just withered up and no good. I threw some away, and some of them made it. So the ones that made it, I put them out. And then I did an experiment with a brassica. I'll show you some pretty scenery. There's new houses going up all around me, and that's okay. People have to have a place to live, right? This is the biggest brassica I have yet, and I put this thing out, and it's been through 31 degree nights that froze things. April. But anyway, that's it for today, y'all. Let's take a look at this beautiful world, okay? There you go.